Hey guys, this is Jan, and you're watching my fourth attempt to get to 100 days of consecutive learning Swift. Swift is, of course, the language and Apple to work on iOS and on the Mac and make little apps and little games. And this year I decided to have a go learning how to program after working in an office setting for a few years and realizing that I do have what it takes to just grind away at just numbers and spreadsheets and all sorts of admin tasks. Basically, if I can do that for a living and not enjoy it, then maybe I can sit myself down in a chair and actually learn a bit of programming. And that is after getting completely burned out photoshopping and drawing comics and all that stuff that I used to do on my channel here. And here's a little flashback to those good old days of travel vlogs and sketching. But hey, I never actually stopped making these little video edits, I have to say. I just stopped posting. So I guess I still have a little backlog full of tropical delights. Who knows, I might just have to stick them in one of these videos one of these days. But hey, time to get back on track. Now, I fully realize that I'm in for the long haul if I'm serious about learning how to program, considering the amount of time I have available to me, and since I already sit behind a computer all day, every day, as it is. Anyway, um, so here I am on my fourth attempt to get to 100 days, and this week, the workload at work finally beat me. I was just so completely burnt out that I just on day 25 I was like, this is it. I'm done. I have to just veg and sit in front of YouTube or a video game and just nothing and go to bed early. So right now I'm in a bit of an interlude because I know there's a holiday coming up. So rather than get to 2 weeks and then attempt six, I thought I'll just I'll just continue to the best of my ability, take it easy, and then after those 2 weeks, I'll attempt for the fifth time to get to 100 days in a row learning how to program. So let me show you where I'm at. As you can see here, this is a little .diablo attempt at a little Spritekit action, and I just noticed going over this, it looks quite a bit different from when you're in an iOS app setting. This tutorial, if you'd like to try this for yourself, is by Swift Goose. I tried out his Blastyball app on the App Store. He's got some really fun experiments with Spritekit and other stuff, and you don't have to scroll too far down to get this Diablo 2 D2 style game. Tutorial. So that's what I've been doing besides the online courses. I'm at 20% now, mostly because I keep getting distracted or switching it up. By distracted, I mean I keep doing a tutorial, an app, and then I think to myself, like, I really want to do this again, to just kind of, to practice. And I suppose I could show you guys just the layout I've got going. Let me just, you may have seen this if you do follow me on Twitter. Let me just close this and then just give me 1 second. And I have to start over. So it's a bit of an improvised video. I wasn't planning on making one. I just wanted to get straight into the tutorial. And then I was like, I do want to get into tutorial, but I also want to just update everything. So this is the the second attempt at a BMI body weight index type app, but I thought I'd have a bit of fun and just borrow artwork from the internet, some comic book stuff, and just, just liven things up a little bit. I decided to build the UIKit layout in Photoshop. And then yesterday I was watching the live stream here on YouTube um, of Micaela Caron, and she showed Sketch, which is kind of like an app where you get to build icons and layouts for apps, online or offline, um, with other people as part of a team or not. And I had a look at it this morning, and it looks pretty cool. The only thing is, when like there was some point where I was just running low on coffee, and I thought like, oh, I can't. I just have to get into Xcode because I'm just gonna burn out doing this for 2 hours, and then that's it. So I already made an attempt at laying out everything that I have to do here in Photoshop, as you can see. So let's say this is all neatly organized. These character pictures are going to be buttons, and when you click on one, like let's say I click on Reed Richards, the other ones are going to disappear, and then there's going to be like a text field too, with some like some bio data for the character, and like some bigger blurb up here. So I figure I need like 2 of them. So if you click on any one of these up here, the bottom one will show the big blurb, and then see if I can make one square with labels, and I can move that square around as I need for the different characters. So most of the things I just said, I've done in some way or other, but I'm trying to do it all myself now with a little help of the internet in this one app. I've had an attempt at a custom tab view before. Apple, of course, provides them in their libraries. I haven't really messed around with that. I think it's just because my background in art and design makes me want to do everything myself in this regard. Like, of course, I'll bump into tutorials and use the tab view that Apple provides, but there's just something about designing your own views that is just more fun and hard. So over here, I'm going to have Notify was building a ticker, like text that slides into view, and I thought like, well, maybe I can put his work to use here, and then you can click on it and go straight to the BMI page. So the last thing I did in the Angela U tutorial was we built an app with like 2 separate screens, and how that works, and how you can prep the data from one screen that is needed for the other screen, or from the model. So that's what I want to do here as well. So this is just the front page, so to speak, because instead of going straight into the calculation, I wanted to have somewhat of an intro screen, and then you do the calculation, and then it shows you the result on a third screen. That's kind of what I'm thinking for this little app. So that's where I'm at with this one. So I'm just gonna shut that down. And now a word about something I sponsor. The Wildcat Anthology is live on IndiGogo. If you haven't read comics in a while, if you're eager to see some of my art, we've been putting together a comic book for the last year or so with some very talented people from the 100 Days of Making Comics community. This is C.B. Smallwood's character Wildcat, and all of us got to write and draw a little short story of our own with his character, and it is live right now. So go check it out. The website will be on your screen one more time after this, and I'll be sure to put a link up below. do that? Yes. And then other things I've been doing. Let's see. 1 second. I've got a little folder, graphics to play with. So just found some, of course you can't really see this, sprites. Just, oh, I haven't done anything with this one, but these just look amazing. This is a sprite sheet I found, right? So what I did was, I've been moving them around, cutting them up, and then using a little bit of Photoshop to just have fun late at night with a little pixel art. And then hop, hop. And just mixing it up a bit. So as you can see, I've been duplicating characters and just changing up the colors and adding a little bit more detail, right? Like here you've got the night, just added a bit more color. I just refer to this project as a 10-bit Zelda. Like what if we had just a little bit more color? It took me a while, by the way, to realize that this here is not a shadow, but it's a cape. It'd be fun to animate that. So just, yeah, just more colorful characters for this Zelda. A little bit more detail, lots more Octoroks, I think they're called. Really like these ones. Oh. The first one I came across was this one right here, which is just the user interface for Zelda. Because I thought, at some point I thought like, well, what if I just have a go, like breaking down how this old game works and then figuring it out myself. And one of the things I figured out, for the map screen, like you get these little squares and they have like different exits, right? This is how the guy who ripped the sprites out of the game set it up. But in Spritekit, you could get to rotate it. So for example, these two, you can just rotate it or flip it. This one is the same. There's 3 here, there's 3 here, there's 3 here, 3 here. So I only need 1 and I can just, you know, rotate them. So I need a lot less. Same over here. We have another sprite sheet for all directions with weapons. And I figured, again, in Spritekit, you could just rotate, but you could also leave the sprites with the weapons out. And like these ones, I kept them in just for, because it's easier, of course. But there are sprites with the bigger shield, so I could just stick it on top of it. There are these 3 sprites over here with weapons. I could use these ones and stick the weapon underneath. So I don't need all those other sprites with different kinds of weapons, right? Then I had a bit of fun just adding a bit of color, like making a little petrified animation, changing up some colors for this flask of magic potion, for the sword. I got some of the items. This is just fun. This is something I've been doing besides the tutorials. And I don't know if you could notice it. Let me just blow that up. So over here you see the actual color palette of the NES, of the Nintendo. And then I added a little bit different shades of green. I also gave him blonde hair. And that's actually where I realized, like, you know, that doesn't contrast very well. So I'm not sure if that's actually going to work if it's really tiny. I think that might actually have to change. But I just had fun, you know, giving him blue eyes. Even tried out teeth, but that didn't look good. Just kept it like that. Again, just a few more colors, just having a bit of fun with a childhood favorite game of mine. and then hoping to one day getting to put this in. I already have a book. It's called the, let me just quickly, I think it's in my, yeah, it's right here. It's the Apple Game Frameworks and Technology by Tammy Coron. Let me just open that up. And does it have to download again? Okay. Anyway, this book is awesome. It's pretty hands-on. It was the first time that I actually tried to follow along tutorials in a book, and it comes across very different from watching you. So basically, in this tutorial, she's trying to make a gauntlet style game, and in a way, that's kind of what Zelda is. So I'm hoping to be following along this tutorial, and then replacing them with Zelda sprites, just for my own bit of fun. It's an awesome book, totally recommend it. And then these, of course, are the tile sets for the world building. Again, added a bit more color. Realized I probably don't need all of them to get started, so don't get too carried away. It's very easy to just with this with sprite art to just be doodling. As you can see, bit more detail. Don't know if that's actually going to work. Never realized that these were bars and you could walk through in the originals. It's amazing how much our imagination, was just kickstarted by such symbolic and simple imagery. It's awesome. And it still holds up, in my opinion. What we have here is another attempt, a different attempt at just having fun with video games. This is probably accurate what you're seeing on screen right now. What is how the game starts up, probably more like here, like this. And then there's lots of stuff that's not finished. I just wanted to, expand on it a little bit. And this is like on days where I'm just like, my brain is fried, I just want to doodle. This is like awesome relaxation. There we go, there's the character. Crazy how small these graphics are when you download them from a site with all these sprite sheets. It's crazy how small the actual images are compared to what we're accustomed to working in these days with DPIs and whatnot. It's also crazy that they never, actually that's not true. They did make a sequel to this game, but it was a sequel as if it was on the NES and not the arcade. And I always thought, like, that's kind of the idea behind this. Like, what if they just, redid the original, but just kind of expand. The vast majority of what you see in this map is just clone stamping and just adding a little bit of detail here and there, just to mix things up. But there's very little of my own design in here. I just used the sprites available, changed colors around, and of course I have now gone completely off the rails. I'm talking about sprite art rather than getting back into Xcode and getting started with that tutorial. But like I said, I kind of dropped out of the 100 days. I'll make a 5th attempt. This is just my Saturday where I'm just gonna chill out, have a bit of fun coding, getting back into it, and see what we come up with following a tutorial. And that tutorial is build a car racing game with Spritekit. That's what I'm going to be doing. Hope to continue with this video in the next segment. So